Welcome to Make Possible Bitesize, a weekly podcast brought to you by BelEve, championing change in publishing, advertising and beyond. Each episode, we chat to an inspiring guest about their careers, their lives and how they're making change possible. Let's bite right in.
Hello everyone, I'm Fiona Fitzgibbon. I'm founder and director of Diversify Media, a marketing strategy and commercial development agency. I've been in the advertising and communications industry for most of my life. And I've been really fortunate to see the industry from varying viewpoints as a global client, as a media owner and a creative agency before launching Diversify Media, and have certainly had to overcome many challenges throughout that time. Though I really do believe we're starting to see quite a big shift, which is fantastic. For Women's History Month, members of DICE have the organisation formed to put an end to manuals, have teamed up with BelEve to shine a light on inspiring women. At DICE, our aim is to bring diversity and inclusion to conferences and events to ensure that every perspective is heard and every story is told. So for today's episode, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Marsha Powell. Marsha is founder of BelEve UK, a girl-focused charity inspiring the next generation of female leaders. Now, I know Marsha quite well. I'm a massive fan of hers and the work that she and her sisters do through BelEve. So firstly, hello, Marsha.
Hi, Fiona.
How are you today?
Very, very well.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. What might be an idea is, could we start with you telling our listeners a bit more about yourself and what BelEve is all about?
Okay, so I am the CEO of a girls' charity called BelEve UK. We are a charity that supports girls in realising their dreams. We increase their opportunities and their experiences and their social mobility to enhance their beliefs in themselves and the belief that everything is possible and they deserve everything they want to achieve.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Marsha. I'd like to kick off with our first of our Make Possible questions. And if there's one thing that 2020 and the start of 21 has taught us about, that's clearly resilience. So our first question is, what are the challenges that you're most proud of to have overcome in your career and in building BelEve?
Okay, so the word resilience is a huge word for me. So 10 years ago, my mum died, and she died really quickly. And through resilience, BelEve was actually born. So through wanting to develop an organisation that underpinned her qualities, I formed BelEve. And within that time, I had to gain resilience because loss is always a huge thing. And with loss, you have to be able to bounce back. And my bounce back was BelEve. So it's been a win-win for me and also a win-win for the girls who come through the charity.
That's quite an incredible story. And I have to say, knowing you as I do, your resilience and your drive is unbelievable. So I absolutely love that. And what about this year? What's the focus this year? What's the driving force behind the work you do today? And where do you see that taking you this year?
Okay, so 2021 for us as a charity, we have a strategy called Doubling Up. So we want to double up our impact. So we want to work with 2,000 girls this year between 2021 and 22. But also, in order to increase the impact, we also need to raise more funds. So we have a target of raising 300k in 2021, but also working with some amazing corporates. So we have some great corporate partners who enable us to connect our girls to amazing women, to, again, support them in raising their confidence and self-esteem, but also increasing their opportunities and experiences. So this year is really about, again, doubling up, but using all the experiences that we've gained as a charity over the last 8 years to really get into the mode of thriving rather than just thriving.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think you're absolutely right in as far as now that BelEve has really created so much awareness across many, many industries. And the programs that you work across are absolutely phenomenal, from, you know, girls from 8 going up to, you know, 21 and 24. The corporate world really has a responsibility, don't you think, to really, you know, support the changes that need to be made during, you know, from now going forward.
Agree. You know, 2020 was a transformational year in terms of really pushing social change, but also systemic change globally. And what 2020 through Black Lives Matter and also through the global pandemic has shown is that we need change, and diversity cannot no longer be a talking shop. It's everyone's responsibility. And corporates need to walk the walk and not just talk the talk, which has seen a lot of big global corporate organizations really understanding that they have a huge role to play in dismantling racism and supremacy. And to be very, very honest, that plays really well into BelEve's strategic objectives, which is supporting disaffected girls, so girls who would not necessarily have the opportunity to go to Cambridge or to work in a FTSE 100 organisation, giving them an opportunity to at least see that there is a possibility that they can achieve those types of roles. So, yeah.
And that brings you back to, I know, your great philosophy of the impact that you have in the future leaders, not only of the world, but of their own world. And that's so important, so important.
100%.
Thank you for that. And finally, for our question for today's Bitesize show, and you're probably best placed to answer this than probably anyone I know, what advice would you give to the next generation of girls who are trying to make things possible?
My philosophy is every girl needs a mentor. I would not be sitting here today if I did not have at least one phenomenal mentor. So I consider my mother my biggest mentor. You know, she really, who I am today is really a testament to her. But when I went into the workplace, I had a number of mentors who really supported me in realizing my dreams and achieving my goals. And my biggest goal was to become a HR business partner. And before I left my career, I so did get that role. And that was through people championing me. So my biggest advice to any young woman listening, I'd say, if you don't have a mentor, find a mentor. And if you're looking for a mentor, come to BelEve, because we've got loads.
You're absolutely right. The mentor programs that you run through BelEve are, well, phenomenal. I've been a part of it now for a while. But it can be quite difficult for girls in the workplace to ask for a mentor.
Yeah. But that's why obviously there's organizations like BelEve, so you don't necessarily have to ask for a mentor in the workplace. You know, there are lots of independent charities and organizations that offer the support that girls need, whether you're in the workplace or you're at school level. I think you should get a mentor as soon as possible. So I don't think you're ever too young to have a mentor. We do peer mentoring at BelEve, so our 8 to 11-year-olds get peer mentored by our older girls, which is phenomenal because also the older girls are imparting some of their lived experiences with the younger ones, which really enable them to grow on both sides. So you've got learnings on both sides. So yeah, that would be my biggest advice. Definitely find a mentor.
Love it. Yeah. Thank you so much. What a brilliant end to that question. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest on today's episode.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And thank you to all our listeners and viewers for tuning into the special episode of Make Possible Bitesize. Next week, we'll be speaking to another massively inspiring guest about what they do to champion change. So enjoy the rest of your day. Bye to everyone, and goodbye to Marsha.
Bye.
Thank you.